if you rush, you learn everything but you know nothing. You just need to learn very basic fundamental algorithms and practice a lot, and this thing will make your mind powerful and your problem solving skills appear. Competitive programming is a sport like chess. It's a mind game. When you play it, it will help you in different manner. When people from competitive programming go to industry are much better than other people in detecting and resolving bugs. Real warriors are determined by not leaving the fight. So it will get harder and harder, but you should not leave, because anything you do will lead to some result. So hello folks, actually I'm a bit shocked of seeing a lot of people here. So what PourAkhavan said to me is just informal talking with some CP guys, and for me it's like CP guys should be at most 10 people, but you are a lot. So let me start by introducing myself. So I'm AmirReza PourAkhavan, or simply Arpa. I started competitive programming actually for national Olympiads when I was something like in 9th grade. So it's typical in Iran to start at high school. When I entered university, I started maybe like you to compete in ICPC, and in ICPC regionals I won silver and next year gold medal. And so I was in ICPC World Finals twice, and the full journey of me took a lot of time. You can search 10 years of competitive programming on Google, and it will lead you to a series of blogs that I described my journey from when I was a kid and then to university and all. Actually, I'm still writing that. So when I'm in an airplane traveling somewhere else and I don't have internet, I try to write more, and story is until I entered university. So alongside that, I was 4 times presenter at ICPC World Finals. So there is a conference alongside to World Finals every year, and maybe you ask how you was in World Finals 2 times but you presented 4 times, because I presented in my second World Finals 3 times. It was like I presented something, someone else came and I again presented. So it was 2 articles accepted in that conference. Another one when it was held online. So you can see some other stuff here. We can skip. And also I was judged for many different international competitions. Like I was contest coordinator at HackerEarth, Code Forces, and then at LeetCode. That I left LeetCode something like 3 months ago. In total, something like 400 contests I prepared, and I expected these slides to have one other, but seems that it's finished. So it's introduction of myself. I want to start with some few words about why competitive programming, and then I will pass the microphone to you to ask your questions. So in my country, I'm somehow someone goes high school to high school, class to class, university to university to advertise competitive programming and ask people to join competitive programming as early as possible. So I go in like for 9th grade students, 8th grade students, and try to invite them to join competitive programming. And for sure, I need some reasons to ask people to do competitive programming. Let's name some reasons. First of all, competitive programming is a sport, you know. From 2018, competitive programming is a sport like chess. It's a mind game. When you play it, it will help you in different manner. First is it makes you persistent. So what is persistency here? When you enter some sport, let's say running, so you will lose again and again, and you need to don't give up and train for years to get some result. And here is the same. So in competitive programming, you learn to be persistent. And also, when you are coding, you face a lot of bugs because competitive programming codes are much more deep than people do in software companies. So you need to go in depth and understand what is the bug, and it may take like more than one day. When people from competitive programming go to industry are much better than other people in detecting and resolving bugs. So other people are like, after 15 minutes, after 30 minutes, they give up. They can't afford more loss actually. So it's like they try to find the bug and they give up because they think that they can't win. They can't find the bug, and they got just disappointed, and maybe they call their manager to come and find the bug. I can't understand this code. But competitive programmers are there, and so it was their daily routine to face bugs and find bugs, catch bugs, and fix them. So it's just normal for them. They go for that. Another reason for doing competitive programming, that there are a lot of people who do competitive programming because of that, is just fun. So competitive programming is fun, right? So balloons, competitions, and all of that, and being in high pressure, and you know, all rating system and all, they are like gamification. So you have a number, you try to increase it, you compete and all. So it makes a lot of fun. And I know people who, with intention of having some fun, they actually found very great results. Like, for example, maybe you know Umnik. He is famous in competitive programming. So if you follow him, his intention to enter and continuing a competitive programming for something like 4-5 years was just fun. So he has international physics Olympiad in high school, gold medal, or maybe silver, I don't remember correctly. And after entering the university, he converted to the competitive programming related things, and he continued competitive programming, and you know, he won ICPC World Finals. He won the championship at all. So the whole winner of world. It's not like normal thing, right? Some people do football or running or swimming for fun, but you never see people like they do swimming for fun win Olympics, right? But some people believe in competitive programming as a fun as much as they may win some really great competition like ICPC, which is Olympics of programming. Fun is another reason. So actually, I always have slides to say what is the benefits of competitive programming, and my slides are in Persian. Another reason to follow competitive programming is you all need to learn and get better in programming, algorithms, data structure. So that's why you enter the university. So maybe the easiest and best possible solution for getting better in those is competitive programming. So even if you don't find any meaningful result in competitive programming, you did a great job in your intention for entering the university. It's a win-win game. Either you win or you win a lot. So either case, you won. So it's a good and safe practice to compete in competitive program. And maybe I can mention another thing. I'm a bit unsure about your culture, but it's like for us that if you finish your bachelor and you are just like other normal students, no one is eager for you. I mean, no one will accept you into their company or something like that, because it's like in the market. So when in a market from some good, there are a lot of that good, the price for that good will be decreased because that is so much of that good. So like why gold is so expensive? Because gold is limited. So people pay much for things that can be found rarely. So if you are going to finish your bachelor like others do, your price will not be that. So you need to try something. So even if I tell people that you can not to join competitive programming, but at least do something. So go for robotics competitions, do some research, or do something different. Don't finish these, I don't know how many years you, 4 yeah, it's the same for us. So don't go do these 4 years like other people do, because your price will be deep. So I think this was enough for a start. So I would like to hear your questions, and maybe while answering questions, I may come with some more explanations on what you are interested about. My max code forces rating is, I think, around 2,700. But now it's, I think, around 2,400. So you can start with asking questions. So do people need microphone or?
So I wanted to ask, how did you meet your teammates for ICPC? And what are your thoughts about joining ICPC?
For me, it was like I participated in our regionals 3 times. First participation led to very bad result of placing at 19th place, then silver medal, and then gold medal. So when I entered university, I was the best competitive programming in terms of rating in my university when I just entered, because I was doing that from high school, remember? So, but teams were formed by that time. So I had no choice but to select just 2 random guys. Not that random, but yeah, not that strong. And I made my team of them. Actually, we won the competition in our university, but in regionals, 2 other teams from our university beat us. So yeah, in regionals, we were not that good. So it was my first experience. Next year, one of those random guys that was trying so much, he got better and better in competitive programming, and he reached around candidate master. So he was good enough to be in my team, but we replaced one of our team members with someone else, which was master or international master, I don't remember. And we won silver medal in regionals and went to Porto. Is that? And again, we changed that random guy with someone that entered in the university that year, and we even made our team better. So you understand, every year I changed someone in my team, and we got better and better and better until we took place 24 and Asia West runner-up in ICPC World Finalist. So for us, it's not like these many people interested in competitive programming. So in the whole university, like my university, you can find less than 6-7 people who are interested in competitive programming. So your choices are limited. And then for sure you go for the one who has the maximum rating, or who you can work with him the best. And the second question?
The second question was that, I don't know about your country, but in India it is very much controversial that either a person should do web development or BSc.
I understand. So it's very strange to me. So for us, it's a lot of different passes. So as I said, almost no one in my country follows competitive programming in university. They do something in high school, and after that, they just give up in university. So, but what I think is, even for like web developing, knowing to some extent and participating to some extent of CP is necessary, because you need to become a problem solver. Not a great problem solver like tourists, but to some extent that you can solve the obvious problems that happen. I also worked in a software company too for 3 years, and my experience was people who didn't try competitive programming are far behind people who worked competitive programming, even just a bit. So I had a friend, he was like you, he didn't know competitive programming at high school. He entered university, he started working competitive programming just like 6 months or 1 year, and you know, he learned a lot, and that skill helped him to like upgrading from a company to another company in just 2-3 years to one of the greatest company in Iran, like top 5 that pay the most like that. So if he didn't do competitive programming, I believe that never happened, because they ask competitive programming questions in interview, and also also it's like you can distinguish yourself with others. So that guy was so intelligent, but how company can understand that you are intelligent? So intelligence is inside you, so there is no number on your face showing your intelligence, right? He did great in that, and he was great working in his companies one after one, and he jumped directly after like 2-3 years to some great company.
Hello Arpa, I'm Pranav. I'm a fresher and I'm starting out competitive programming. So I needed to share you a story before asking my question. So I had a friend. So when he started CP when he was in his freshman year, and in his pre-final year, he had a drastic drop in rating. He had a couple of contests gone bad in a row. So then he just gave it up. He couldn't cope up with it. And then he needed to take a break of 6-7 months. Then he started again gradually. So what do you suggest when we have a fall like that, or we have a bad time?
Let me show you something. So it's my coach versus graph, right? Actually, competitions, they are unable to show your real skill. It's just a one-time exam that shows something, but they can't be that much different with your real ability. So like if someone has coach versus rating of more than 300, almost always, like more than 90% of time, he will win you in every competition. So that is being said. But the thing is, when you and someone else just have like 100 difference, it's not that case. So it's really possible that something happened. Let me show you what happened in my rating graph, for example. I actually need more zoom because it starts from here and goes to here. So let me emphasize what happened to me here. First, understand that because my register time on Codeforces is like for 12 years ago, I think, the rating graph is super compressed. So like from something like here to here, it's like 4-5 months. It's exactly where my 11th grade started. So when I started my 11th grade, which is the final grade you can participate in National Olympiads in Iran, you can see that I consistently drop in rating, and it's so much. So you understand, here is around 1500 and here is like 1400. Very much difference. And also, let me tell you that at that time, candidate master started from here. So I was candidate master and in first division. So I participated in first division contest. So I was going to school, and every day a lot of pressure comes from other students that you are the noob one, losing rating every day. And let me say, in 17 consecutive contests, I had at least one problem, hack or fail. So these days, nowadays, it's like pre-tests on Codeforces are strong enough that if you get accepted, you will get accepted after the contest too. Almost always, 99%. But that time, for fun, it was just like pre-tests very weak. So you would get accepted, but after contest fail. So even some others, they may not intentionally not included corner cases in pre-test to fail you after the contest and make some fun. 17 contests, I had this pressure that after contest fail, hack, or something like that. So in this amount of time, in this period, I was doing competitive programming something like 16 hours per day. So I still have the timesheets. So I was high school students. I don't know if you had these timesheets in your high school or not, but there are some timesheets that you write like maths blah blah hour like that. So I still have that timesheet. That for us it was how many hours you practiced combinatorics, graphs, algorithms, and programming. The sum of amount of study I did on off days, for sure I can't do that when I go to school, it's impossible. But on off days, it was always more than 16 hours per day. And that was the result. But I didn't give up. That pressure led to more and more practice. So it was like I weeks, I participated in something like 100 virtual contests in like 3-4 months. So like I started some, if you go back into my submissions and consider the time zone difference between Iran and India, you will find that I started some virtual contests at 4 a.m. So I was really trying hard, and I'm not sure if this feature is still on Codeforces, but there is a feature that you can go to problem set and then submissions and check friends only, and it will show you your friends submission. So other guys, when they get up from bed, they saw that Arpa already participated in a virtual contest and solved another 2 problems too. Their rating was a pressure on me, but it was an attack back on them with my real mind-blowing practice and hard work. See, here I tried to go a bit above very significant laws. Here you can see it's about, again back to a specialist, and just in 2-3 weeks I went to there. So your practice will result, but it takes time. And you know, it's like the strong people are who don't leave the fight when it gets harder and harder. So you know, the real warriors are determined by not leaving the fight. So it will get harder and harder, but you should not leave, because anything you do will lead to some result, but it may be delayed. You need to wait until that delay happens and you will get the result. So it's something like that. Next, please.
Hello. So
Hello.
we are like basically we all are first year students, and we are trying to build a culture for like all of us to participate in CP and have interest in CP. So how can we build that?
You mean you want to build that culture, something
Yeah.
like that? What I see here is university and professors and all are so supportive for you. So that is the first good point. I see some universities that they have people interested, but no one supports them and they can't do that. But I already saw some examples that some single university professor started to make some culture in CP culture, and he was successful. Like I remember I was doing a presentation. It was a branch of a Canadian university in Qatar. So there was a single university professor that was supporting CP, and what she was doing was just like running some weekly competitions named Pizza and Programming. So he asked students, teams of 3, to buy some pizza and come to the I don't know where you call it. So there is a place with a lot of computers that you can compete. So
Yeah, a lab.
lab. Okay. So she asked them to come to lab and just participate in a virtual Codeforces contest with each other. So the competition and fun there help students to get used to this program. Every week they came for pizza and programming. I think he made a real revolution in that university without any CP culture and turned it to a university that has at least like 20 people participating in CP. So what you need is to make a regular program like what I said, pizza and programming. Maybe university can do that, or just like some friends can start that and others will join automatically. So they see that it's fun and also it's beneficial, so they will join automatically. But the thing is, human nature is like if you're alone, you can continue very hardly. So it becomes harder and harder and you lose motivation when you are trying on your own. But when other people are joined, you see a lot of fun and you see they are growing and the gamification comes and all, and it will make a lot of motivation for you. There is a bias, so who sits in the back are not asking questions and all questions are from here. So did you select people somehow?
How many countries have you been in?
Prayuk asked a question. I repeat it for other people. He asked how many countries you traveled. So first country I traveled was Pakistan to to participate in Lahore regional contest. That year we participated in Tehran and also Lahore at the same time. And next one was Portugal, which ICPC World Finals held in it. And next one was Iraq for just religious reasons. Next one was Russia for ICPC World Finals again. Next one was Turkey because I was a judge in European Girls Olympiad of Informatics. Next one was Syria that I was coach for the national team going to International Olympiad of Informatics, high school students. And next one was Croatia, where I was there to a camp, something similar like this, but for European teams going to ICPC World Finals. And the last one is here that I'm currently in. Yeah, and you can go on.
Yeah, so hi Arpa, my name is Ishan, and most of us here are non-CPs. So would you please tell to a non-CP, how should they start their coding journey, like a brief roadmap?
So a very general question, right? Okay, I understand that. So you're asking how should we start competitive programming?
Yes.
Okay. Consider the case that you ask some Olympics winner who win medal in swimming how I should start swimming. So as competitive programming is a sport, so when you want to try for something, first of all, you need to know what kind of this is, okay? So competitive programming is not a science, for example. So you are not gonna read a lot of papers or documents or do some research, right? Problems are already solved in competitive programming. So let me ask you, for sure you are good in at least one sport, aren't you?
Maybe badminton.
Okay, so how did you play good in badminton?
Playing casually with friends.
Okay, so did you read any books about that?
No.
Okay, so here goes the same. So it's a sport, and in a sport, training matters the most. So all the time, like 99% of your time participating in CP would be just training, first of all. Then you need to understand that the way you train is very important. So it's not like if you want to learn swimming and go for Olympics, it's not just like start swimming at random in swimming pool and hope for you'll someday win gold medal in Olympics, right? Let me divide the whole competitive programming ability into three parts: creativity, knowledge, and implementation. So these things grow each other actually, and you can't release your real power in any of them without help of other two. Like there might be a super intelligent person in this class, but he is unable to solve very basic problems. Why? Because his knowledge is very low and his implementation is ruined. So if you try to grow these three things together with good training method that I will try to say something about it later. The thing is, there are some books written about that, so you can find competitive programming handbook and all. But what I believe is you need some coach to get successful in competitive programming. So if you try alone, so I saw people that they tried alone and even they achieved something very good, very worthy, but coach will for sure boost you 2-3 times. You don't have infinity time, right? You want to get some result in these 3-4 years. You don't want to continue competitive programming forever, right? Like tourists. So it's possible that if you follow your own way, you get some result after 10 years, but you want it soon. So you need some coach. Coach will find and provide you list of problems one after one that you need to solve it. So some people, especially people who don't have coach rush to learn algorithm, and that won't work. Because like I saw people who messaged me on Codeforces like, I don't know how to solve that problem with heavy light decomposition, and I see that that guy is just great. So what I try to tell him immediately is, please shift delete heavy light decomposition from your mind. You should not know heavy light decomposition for now.
I didn't understand what you said just now.
They all don't know what is HLD.
Yeah, it's good. So it's an algorithm. Heavy light decomposition is an algorithm, and you should not learn it when you are like below 2100. So you need to first get master on Codeforces, or at least candidate master, something like that, and then learn heavy light decomposition. If you rush, you learn everything but you know nothing. You just need to learn very basic fundamental algorithms like merge sort, then very basic graphs, then or maybe like Dijkstra at the most, and then like DP and DP and DP, and practice a lot in just these 5-6 topics a lot, just like for 6 months, 1 year, just focus in these 4-5 topics, that's it. And these things will make your mind powerful and your problem solving skills appear, and then you will go above, like you will go around 1800, and then when you reach 1800 you should start learning other advanced topics like segment tree. So I see people like they are specialists and they know segment tree, and this should not happen. And also from the vice versa, I see some people that just naively open Codeforces, sort by the must solve, and solving one by one. It's okay, but just for 10 days. After 10 days, you should start learning something very easy like binary search, like DFS, BFS graph, simple graph algorithms like dynamic programming, and so on. And for that, the thing is, the hard things happens here that makes you to have some coach is you should not read and learn topics. Someone should give you a problem that with solving that you discover algorithms on your own. Like if you see my teaching style, I'm a teacher that doesn't teach anything at all. So I come to the class, our classes are like weekly classes of length something like 3 hours or more. So there is no rush. I come to the class, provide some problem, and I sit there. And students try to attack this problem. They don't have enough tool actually. They attack and they attack, and from what I know from the students, they are very close to the level that they can make that tool. And eventually, they make the tool and they solve the problem. And they teach themselves. So it can't be possible if you are on your own, okay? So you go open Dijkstra's algorithm on Wikipedia or CP algorithms and you start reading, and after you finish, you start solving problems. And this way, your creativity is ruined because you already know what is Dijkstra when you are trying to solve that problem. But like in the vice versa case, it's like you see the problem, you already know some basic algorithms, but you don't know that algorithm needs to be solved this problem. And you try to create the problem on your own, like what Dijkstra did dozens years ago. So Dijkstra invented that algorithm, right? You should be like Dijkstra and invent the algorithm again to be able to really solve the next problems.
My second question is, like, there are other world finalists like you. Of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course there are.
So I wasn't, if I was competing alone, I would get gold medal
Yeah,
for sure.
of course, of course. So, like, how do you get these opportunities? Like, you hosted ICPC. So, how do you get these opportunities?
Actually, I don't know myself. People like me. So actually, there are a lot of people to choose for like different camps or judging or other stuff. But I don't know. I receive email that would you come train our students or would you come prepare our contest? And sometimes I say yes, and I do that. But the thing is, yeah, this is very important. I missed to say, you should not try competitive programming to become someone like me. So I am just an exception, but not the rule. So the rule is people come to competitive programming and then they use those skills somewhere else. Like they go become software engineer, backend developer, Android developer, data scientist, something like that. So competitive programming is not the destiny, it's just a path. So there are some exceptions like me that will live in the path itself, but you need to pass the path. You understand? Yeah. So it's not the final destiny. So don't try to be someone like me. So I'm like this. So I could do many other things. So when I was a kid, I had a lot of job offers from famous companies, but I wouldn't accept that because I like teaching. So I like this job. Okay, so when I was a kid, I wanted to grow up and become a teacher. It's my love. I like it. I like to be teacher. When I prepared my first contest on Codeforces, I was just a kid, like 16 years old. I hold a contest on Codeforces because I love that thing. I really like to hold contests like that. So I like this stuff. Like in parallel that I was teaching here, I was the judge for some national competition in Iran too. And I was doing them in parallel. I like both things, but you shouldn't think that if I enter competitive programming, my destiny is like Arpa. No. You can go become whatever you love, like go do artificial intelligence, go do backend developer, anything like that. So that's important to understand. My experience is there are some people who have questions, but they wait until others go out and they will come close and then ask questions. So, those questions aren't private, but they feel a lot of pressure to ask questions.
I was afraid at first too.
You was afraid too?
Yeah.
But you were selected to sit there, so.
No. I sit by myself.
So, I tried to believe.
Do you have any questions? Now 3-4 hands.
So my question is, did you ever felt like quitting or taking a break from CP?
What I think is it's not recommended to quit and come back, because when your age increases, motivation for sure goes down, and also you find more and more things that will involve you, and like you can't put that 16 hours that I said. So you need to make full pressure, find the result and quit. So if you break somewhere in the middle, you will lose. So you lose something. Actually, when I entered university, first I somehow had a break. So I was not participating in contests like so on. So I just wanted to participate in ICPC World Finals for fun, and that's it. But destiny was like, we participated in ICPC World Finals, and after we came back from Portugal, I was just like, okay, we had one fun World Finals, why not have another? But the game changer here was after we came back from Portugal, our coach was one of our faculty members, one of professors. He invited us to his room and he asked us, he came with some reasons that we need to go for a medal in next year. So suddenly, my goal in just few minutes, my goal changed from participating again to visit Moscow changed to let's go win a medal, which we were really close to it in Moscow. So we were really close to winning medal, as if we solved all of the easier problems, then the hardest problem that I solved during the contest, we would get a medal. So actually we didn't solve some easy problems and solve some hard problems instead. We were unlucky, we were just unlucky, and we missed that. So I had something like 1.5 year break after I entered university, but that motivation that came from that professor pushed me to come back and put so much time again for something like 2 years, every week at least 70 hours. Alongside, I had a job, and also I married during that time. So all of that, but also putting 70 hours per week, that was the full answer to your question.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. The thing is, I saw people with typing like this, really like this, who won gold medal in Iran and then won silver medal in IOI, International Olympiad of Informatics. So typing for sure doesn't matter. So its relation to competitive programming must be much less than how well you slept last night before the competition.